I'm Julia Gerritsen. I am a recycler, Papermaker Extraordinaire, and I make all my things out of recycled materials. The things I make today are light switch plates. To make the light switch plates, I start with plates from the Restore that I get really cheap, and then I make the paper. And so I make the paper all out of recycled materials as well. And I use things like cotton t-shirts, sometimes the newsletters from the Saturday market, junk mail, sheet music, bingo cards, autumn leaves, etc.
Your wares?
Oh, I have a website and I sell at the Eugene Saturday market. And I have a couple of consignment stores for the light switch plates.
I hear that you have a farm.
I do.
And you work your own farm.
I do.
Do you use any of the products from the farm in your paper?
I do. So this one is the artichoke leaves and hearts. This one is the daylily leaves. These are corn husks. This one might actually be leek. Garlic tops. Oh. So I use a lot of the plant material that is waste material, like a broccoli stalk that not everyone wants to eat, but I end up with lots of stalk. So I've prepared a couple of examples.
Oh, perfect.
Usually I actually make the paper first, and I make it with the screen and decal. I dip it down, under, and up. The water will drain through, and the cellulose fibers are caught on the screen, all flat and even already.
So do you bake it?
Nope. After it's drained, I remove the decal, have a wet sheet of paper, and I usually flip it onto a cloth. It releases the paper, and then I have the screen free to do it again. So when I drape it fresh, I don't need to use glue because the paper, when it's wet, will stick to the plate really well, and then it will shrink as it dries, which really helps it sort of to the plate. But I can't do that with his paw because the wet paper is pretty fragile. So in that case, I would glue it on and firm up all the edges, and then I let it dry. When it's dry, it looks more like this with a little weird edge. So I cut that off as close as I can because I want it to fit flush against a wall. This becomes new paper again later.
So it's pretty much zero waste.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Once that's done, I can trim the hole slots for where the switch will go. And then I can poke the holes, which I usually do with a nail.
Oh, okay. So simple.
Yep. And then I seal them with a waterproof sealant so you can put them in a bathroom or kitchen and clean them off.
Start doing this. Have you always been into paper?
I started making paper when I was 12. I saw it on Saturday morning cartoons. It was Beekman back then. Regardless, it was like a kid's science show,
right.
And they made paper on it. And that afternoon, I tried it out. I stretched a coat hanger into a circle, put a pair of my mother's nylons over it, tied them in a knot, put a newspaper in the blender, and went for it.
The amount of paper that you make in a day, how many hours is that?
That's a lot of hours. Like for 80 sheets, if I'm just making the paper, it's probably 5 hours. If you include processing the pulp, it's even more. So some of the pulps, like the sheet music or bingo cards, which used to be or junk mail that used to be a paper product, those I can soak in water and beat up really easily. But something that is t-shirts, like on this one you can see I used a couple of different color green t-shirts. that takes more like 6 to 8 hours to beat the pulp, to process that just in itself. Occasionally I use a blender, otherwise I use a Hollander beater. So this is the beater. I put cloth in here, like this, pieces of cloth that I soak in water. I sort of feed them in and fill it with water, and as it swirls around, this gear spins and pounds it against the bottom of the tub. And then it swirls around again, gets pounded again, etc.
So is this made exactly for paper making?
This is a paper making tool.
Wow.
This guy makes about 10 machines a year.
Wow.
From Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
And then I end up with like pulp, you know, that
yeah.
make into other things.
Just so you know, we sell buckets for 50 cents a piece.
Yep. Obviously, I use them. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, Julia, thank you so much